Good day, mate. Father Leo here from the land and under. Trust me, I'm not going to talk like that, but I am recording this hashtag Ask Father Leo from Australia. And so I've got a bunch of questions here, all awesome. Thank you for sending them. Reagan Salinger asks, how do you know you're doing God's will? It's called discernment, and there are actually great books that help you to understand doing God's will. But I can tell you this, you're never going to know unless you just simply do it, and God provides signs like confirmations and even interior joy and peace to let you know you're on the right path. So Christy Kubasic Tucker asks, and how in the heck can I make some vegetables taste better for a picky palate? Here in the South, the only recommendation is bacon grease. So to that I say, make it smaller, insert it in a meatball, and then deep fry it. That's kind of an easy way to do it. But ultimately, you're going to have to ask your kids, what do they not like? Maybe your picky eaters are actually your older children or even your spouse. Ask them what they don't like. Try to figure out what is the flavor profile. This is actually consistent with the previous question, discerning. What is it that is unpalatable to you? And let's see what we can do to complement it to make it a little bit more digestible. Christy Lynn Schneider asks, I want to have the blood at communion so badly, but can't get past the fact that I'm sharing that cup with everyone in the congregation. As a hypochondriac than her, it's hard to get past all that. The struggle is real. What advice? Please know that when you receive the Eucharist, whether it be in the form of the host, consecrated, the body, or from the chalice, the blood of Christ, you're receiving both body and blood. You can't separate those two. So really receiving the chalice from the blood from the chalice is symbolic of receiving the sign that it is the Eucharist. Very technical language, just letting you know. If you receive the host, you are receiving the blood of Christ as well. Tom Coleman asks, hey, Father Leo, as a fellow Mount St. Joe grad, I'd like to know if you've ever gone back to the cafeteria to prepare some meals for the students. Not yet, but I would love to. And Tom, you let me know. I will throw on that gravy over the fries. Bring back some serious memories, doesn't it? So Deborah Dare asks, what do you do when you feel empty inside, very distant from God? Wait and pray? ? Here's a great piece of advice. Do something for someone else. It's called an act of charity. Some would call it fake it till you make it, but really it's about giving of yourself even if you don't feel it, similar to the way that the old widow felt when she had to give 2 small copper coins even though she didn't have that to give. So I think the more we give of ourselves, the more you will see that God is actually doing some amazing things in you and through you. So Patricia Iagnoko, sorry about that, Patricia. Father, how can priests give advice to married couples and they themselves aren't married and don't have any children? It's a great question. Read about it in my book, Spicing Up Married Life, and you'll realize that even though I'm not married to a person, I'm equally committed to a relationship who was the church. And theology informs us, priests, of what we can share with married people in order to know what God's love was like. Jesus gave advice to married couples, and he wasn't married either. So consider that and realize that anyone can give us good advice. Even a sinner can give us good advice. So we want to be able to discern what are the good things that can help us. Susan Villaflor asks, Father Leo, what can you say about the sex scandal in the Catholic Church? Is there any chance of purification? Yes, there's always a chance because there's mercy, but the sex scandal is simply a product of the fact that everyone is practicing sexuality without practicing the theology of human sexuality. So priests are just as human as everyone else, and we're infected and immersed in all of this muck. And so what we've got to do is gain a better understanding of the theology of marriage, the theology of sexuality, the theology of the body, and put it into practice. So Ernie asks, is it okay to pray the rosary even if it hasn't been blessed? Of course. You bring that blessing, but just go to the priest and ask him for a quick blessing, or deacon can do it as well. Grace Noel asks, what's your favorite sacrament to administer? Frankly, all of them. I love giving communion, but I also love giving that merciful sacrament called confession. That's an awesome one. And Karina Anderson asks, They say when you get to the afterlife, it's all about Jesus, Jesus' love, and help to enter into heaven and to be saved. So then why do we pray to Mary? Why can't we just pray to Jesus directly? So we don't actually pray to Mary. We ask for Mary and the saints' prayers so that we can follow Jesus the way the saints follow Jesus. In fact, that's how I want to close this. I want us all to love Jesus the way the saints do, and love the saints the way Jesus does. And thank you for your question, and I can't wait to answer more on hashtag AskFatherLeo. Spread this to family and friends, and you can even consider supporting us at patreon.com/FatherLeoFeeds. Between now and the next time we talk, stay hungry.